So, yes or no to polygyny? Should we do it or should we not? So, assalamu alaikum rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. So, this is a short video, just a brief explanation. So, recently there have been quite a bit of debate about polygamy, or not, so they're quoting the verse, or marry two, then three, then four, or one if there's no justice. So, the side, obviously, which is promoting polygamy, is quoting that verse. And obviously the other side, they've got their answers as well, such as if you cannot remain just, for example, then only marry one. So I will explain it the best I can using the Sunnah and scholars. So from what I recall, Imam Abu Hanifa and I think Imam Maliki as well, rahimahullah to both of them, so they're more on the fence of a Muslim man should be polygamous, and they use that Quran verse as well to quote, obviously to back up their evidence, or should I say to back up their claims. Imam Shafi'i and Imam Ahmad ibn Hanbal, they're more on the inclination of, you should marry one just because it's impossible or very, very hard to remain just. So I'll give you an example on modern times. So quite a few scholars, I think Mufti Menka said it as well, that in the modern world you do not need to to marry more than one wife. Obviously the reasons were, because of war, losses, divorces, widows, etc. There was a need at certain points in history. But just to let you know, I'm not saying don't do polygamy or do polygamy. I'm just giving a reason, for example, why there's probably no need today, or why it's actually very hard to fulfill the justice and the amount of the rights of your spouses. So the Prophet ﷺ said you have to treat them all equally and love equally. So are you telling me that if you marry 4 wives, right, to all the men, that you're going to treat every one of them truly equally? Say that if one of your wives is a 10 and another one of your wives, say that is 7 or 8. I'm just giving an example. That I'm not that superficial. So are you saying that you will be more, or should I say, be more intimate with the one which is a 7, or be, have the same amount of intimacy with the one that is a 7 and the one is a 10? And most men, I don't think they would be that fair and equal. Let's be honest, most men are gonna go to the supermodel pretty much every night. So now for the matter of, for example, houses and wealth. So the right of a spouse is you have to give her own living quarters, like a house or apartment, if she wants it. And most women nowadays, they do want their own space. And to be fair, I don't blame them, because the amount of issues in the families, because of mother-in-law, daughter-in-laws, and all these spats and fights and bickering, it's just better to have your own space. And now in most economies, I'm speaking in the West, in Europe, America, England, places like Germany, France, Spain, whatever, even places in the Middle East or the subcontinent, unless you are a multi-millionaire, that 6 figures is nothing to you. A semi-decent house, for example, in England, you're looking at well over 100-200k. So even, for example, a studio apartment, you might be looking, what, 25 to 30,000 pounds. But I'm betting that the woman would be wanting a bit more than a studio apartment, maybe something, that is a bit glamorous. So then the price is going up to 300-400,000 pounds. And by the way, it is your right, you have to provide her that. So in that instance, if you think about it like that, can most men afford polygamy nowadays? They can just barely afford their own homes, and again, they have to get a mortgage or they'll be renting. And for those of you that might be saying, oh, this isn't fair, we're not talking about this. Yes, even this is part of the whole, thing about being equal and being just. You can't expect all your 4 wives to live in one house, right, in one tiny house, and not start bickering and fighting. And remember, if you, once you start having children, etc., in a bigger and bigger space, and trust me, 7-8 bedroom house in England, you're looking at least £800,000, so well over £1 million. So unless you're gonna go off grid and live in a hut, you're best off just having just one wife. And then finally, are we truly just? Forget the point, obviously, of the model or whatever. Forget the intimacy point. Are any one of us truly that just and that righteous and that pious nowadays? Now, I'm not saying we're not, but let's be honest, we're not the golden generation. We're not the pious predecessors, the Salaf. We're nowhere near, as good and as strong in character as our Nabi Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. So to protect your Jannah, best thing to do is stick to one woman. But again, if you can afford it, and if you know that you're truly going to be just and equal to them all, by all means go for it, and good luck to you. Anyways, assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.